Hey guys, it's Carolina here from KarolinasKrafts and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I guess I'm going to start my scrap series, but it's not going to be like every day or every week. I'm just kind of going to do scrap series whenever. So that's just something I wanted to start doing because I have a lot of scraps. We all know we save all of our scraps and things like that. I personally love using up all my scraps and I always go back to them. And my babe's like, you're just prolonging the life of your paper, just throw it out. And I'm like, no, like I need all this paper. Even though I have like tons and tons and tons, and I could easily just throw out the scraps and just still have paper for days and years and whatever. But I don't know, like you like paper sometimes, you want to save it, you want to use it for another project. And it's just, I don't know, I always hold on to my scraps. So here I have some patterned paper scraps. These are like fall and Halloween themed. So I was making some note cards and out of a 6x6 paper pad, and they were only sized, I think they're like 5 1/4 by like 4 1/2 or something. So I have these strips of paper. I got like all these little strips of paper, and I was like thinking about what I wanted to do with this. I was thinking maybe I could make some tags and cut out some tags of here, and you can do that, but then I'd be left with like another piece of scrap. I was also thinking out of the fall ones, I could just die cut some mini pumpkins or something like that, but then I didn't have like a little mini pumpkin die. So I was like, what can I make with this? And I decided to make rosettes. Now it is like a little longer, so if you have a scrap that's a little longer like this, you can make rosettes. But if you have the rosette die on this paper is not, I mean, it's like longer than the paper. So I'm using the Sizzix Tim Holtz rosette die, and you could totally do this by hand. That is no problem. You just score like every, I don't know, what is it, every like 1/8 of an inch or every 1/4 of an inch or something like that. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube on how to make rosettes like without a die. But another thing I struggled with is actually making smaller mini rosettes. Now, yes, I know how to make this one. You just cut it out, put it together, glue it, and done, right? But when I was trying to figure out how to make mini ones, first of all, there was no tutorials specifically on how to make mini rosettes. And so I was just trying to figure this out. So what I'm doing is I am going to cut out this, and I can actually fit 2 on every single one of these pages. So I'm going to put this down into my machine like this. Actually, I'm going to put this one right here so I could use the tape, and I'm just going to line it up on the edge, and it's going to cut up to here. So this part is all not going to be cut, but I can't just go and fold that afterwards, and you guys will see why not. So I'm going to lay that down real quick, and I'm just going to show you guys like the little mini rosettes that we're going to be making with my scraps. So here are some that I made already. I'm having a lot of fun. It's giving me a nice little mini rosette stash as well for fall and Halloween. And they're cute. They're little, they're cute. The normal size, I'm going to show you guys what the normal size looks like if I cut out this whole entire thing. So the normal size looks like this. So compared to one of these, you guys could see it is quite smaller and a lot cuter. So this is the size that we're going to be making. So don't worry if you have a rosette die and it's not long enough. You can make mini rosettes with your scraps. So that is idea number 1 for today's video, and that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to go die cut this out, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is what my paper scrap looks like after I cut out one, and this is what this looks like. You guys can see this is not a full like piece over here. But that's okay because we're actually going to cut that off later. And I calculated that this is going to be just the right amount. So it's just like a good size. If you ended up on like a piece that won't fold like opposite, you would need to cut off another one. But mine ends up being just good. Okay, so I cut out another one from that leftover scrap. This is all I'm left with. Obviously, I'm not going to use that. That is just trash now, but it looks better than throwing this out, right? So I'm left with this piece right here, and I'm just gonna peel him off of my die. And I actually have a whole bunch, and I still have a whole bunch more to die cut. I thought I would gift some and some happy mail and some challenge entries that I'm entering. So I have a bunch of those. Now what I'm going to do is just cut off the end here because I want the full end piece. So it's gonna look something like that. It doesn't matter, it's okay if it's not straight. But then I'm just going to fold it. And you're just folding along the score lines, whether you are making the score lines yourself or whether you're using a die. So this is what I mean, where if this didn't end on like this piece, you guys see it's out and this piece is like that. So when it's folded, this one I see the pattern paper, this one I see the white. That's exactly what you want, and that's how they're gonna connect. Because if it wasn't like that, you would need to cut off like another, like a whole piece like this, like before the line. Now, the only thing is, so hold on, for example, let me do that again. You can't just make a mini rosette with just this. And I'm gonna show you guys why not. So I'll put some glue right here, okay? And I am going to glue that shut. I always do the outside. Okay, so I'm gonna glue that. And now when I try to put this together, all you do is like put it down like this, and then you like squeeze in your middle and try to press down. Now, because this is so long and I don't have enough of those, you guys saw we cut off like a bunch of those in the die, like because it didn't completely fit. So we didn't have all those pieces like as a full die. So this height here is now too long. So I kind of have to cut some of that off. And I was just showing you this one as an example, but on all the other ones, I'm actually going to cut them first because it is easier. But basically now you need to cut off a little bit. So I'm cutting off about this much. Okay, it's not a lot. And it's going to depend on how big your rosette is. But you definitely want to cut it off beforehand before you even do all the folding, because then you kind of have to refold it. Okay, so I have now this size of a rosette compared to this height right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. And I already have some circles cut out for the back, but same thing. See now how this goes down? It goes all the way down. Now it forms my rosette here. So now I'm just going to put some glue here around that and make sure to get the center. And then I'm going to press down with one of my little dots just to kind of hold that all in place. And I'm going to squeeze like the outsides just to make sure it stays secure and that it's all nice and tight. So there's like no like gap in the middle. So you could barely see that little hole in the middle. So just hold that down for a little bit. And there you are. There's your beautiful rosette. So you want to do that with all of these before you even go to fold them, because it'll be a lot easier. Just cut off a strip on all of these. But this is good because I get to use up my scraps, and I feel good about it, about using up all my scraps and then not wasting those bigger sheets of paper. So you're going to cut off a little bit on the end, just like that end piece where that dotted line is. And then you're also going to cut off this as well, just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to do that to all of these, and I'll be right back, and then we'll do a couple of more rosettes together. And if you guys want, go get your dies and let's do some together. Alright guys, so now we have these scraps left over. If you really wanted to, you can use these scraps and then make like another card. I just saw one by Connie Stewart the other day where she just had like strips of paper and she organized them in like different patterns on a card. So you could easily do that. I mean, she didn't do different patterns, she did like one color, but you could do that pretty much with anything. And it was a really cool thing. So I'll have it linked down below because it's really cool how she did that. So I'm just going to do a couple of more of these because, like I said, there was no tutorials on mini rosettes when I was looking for it. And I really wanted to know how to make mini rosettes. And for the longest time, I just didn't because I didn't want to sit here trying to figure it out. So it has been some trial and error, and then figuring out that, you know, your pieces can't be too long. If you cut off from one side, you kind of have to cut off a little bit from the other side as well. And again, you guys see here, I'm not going this way, so I don't want the pattern paper on the outside since I'm putting my circle on the back. And you guys see here my great cutting skills. I'm lining up the top. Okay, so I want the top glued, and you see how that's longer? That's okay. You're not gonna see it once you put together your rosette. So just like that, putting it together, gonna add some glue. Okay, there's my glue, and I'm just gonna use my little dot. You could use the bigger dot, smaller dot, whatever it is. And I'm just squeezing the outside edges to make sure that's gonna create like a nice circle. And I'm just holding it there for a little bit. And there's your rosette. Doesn't it look so cool? And see, like I said, it didn't really matter if one of the pieces was like a little longer. I mean, I guess that would be maybe like right here where it doesn't quite connect, but I'm okay with that. It's still cute, and you normally just use rosettes as layering pieces. So that is it, guys, for this video. Just wanted to show you guys an idea of how to use up some of your possibly longer scraps. Because, you know, scraps, you're gonna have all different sizes. Sometimes they're gonna be nice, neat scraps like these ones, and they're like rectangular. Sometimes they're gonna be like little teeny scraps. And I'm gonna try to do videos on all of it every time I go to use up some more scraps. All right, so have fun, guys. Have fun creating mini rosettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next crafty video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.